So as of this recording on April 9th, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid has been out on PS4 for a week now. I wanted to get into this review earlier, but I didn't have PlayStation Plus, so I couldn't jump online and get those details. But now that I do, played some matches, did the arcade, I think it's a good time to do a review. So I'm going to base this review off 5 different factors, which I'm going to use for any other fighting game that I do a review for, which is the story or arcade mode, the roster, graphics and audio, accessibility, and the online play. So let's start with the arcade mode. There was supposed to be a story mode, which hasn't been present yet, and they'll probably add one in a later update like with Street Fighter V. But the arcade mode for this game is pretty basic. You just go wave to wave, you fight the same teams basically. There's only 9 characters, so there's only so much variation that you'll see. In one run, I actually went against my exact same team. The most you get out of arcade mode is a couple banners after you complete it, and a tiny bit of character interaction between Goldar and Lord Draken by the sub and final boss. They only have about 2 text box, and it's not even all that impressive. It's pretty generic. It's like, aha, I'm so evil, and then we're like, we're gonna stop you. But it's very basic. Like, there's no. It would have been cool to see any references to anything like the comics, but there's no, like, the dialogue wasn't needed, and the fact they implemented it, it was like, they could have done a lot better with that. Onto the roster, I have mixed emotions about it, but it's mostly positive. The nitpick in me doesn't like how most of the cast is Mighty Morphin or Mighty Morphin comic related, but the fighting game enthusiast in me likes how each archetype of a fighting game is represented in this game. You have your zoners, you have people who control the mid-screen, you have rushdown characters, and characters who do well in the neutral. Elephant in the room, the game's only got 9 characters, and being that it's 3v3, you start to realize that really quickly. However, the game season pass comes with 3 new characters. Also, there's going to be an update later down the line that adds 3 more characters for free. And hopefully with the season pass, they try to get out of the Mighty Morphin era a little bit. Recently, a lot of fighting games have been coming out when people say, man, this looks like a mobile game. It's important to remember this game is from the same people who made the Power Rangers mobile game. So not a lot is going to be too different. However, being on PS4, Xbox One, PC, the graphics do look a little bit better, and it's not super plastic like another fighting game that we know of. It's actually pretty good. It's got some details, however, some things are very irritating to look at, such as Zordon's head, and there are many other graphical issues that I kind of think they should address. Although the graphics are more of a pet peeve, one thing that will actually take you out the game is the audio. It's super bland. The characters themselves barely have any voices to them. They don't have any emotions. Even the monsters, like, I feel like Goldar's voice is super generic instead of being all powerful and cocky and defined as it was in the show. It doesn't have to be the exact actor, but no one has any personality in this game. The sound effects could be upped a little bit. It's just boring. Nothing really brings you into the game. Nothing makes you want to play on a certain stage. It's all just really generic. The accessibility for this game is great, and what I mean by accessibility is how easy it is for you to play it, or how to get someone else to play it. Like someone who's not that deep into fighting games, someone who didn't watch the developer commentaries or their streams on the ins and outs of each character. They give you a tutorial mode, but it's pretty much face value, where they give you your light, medium, heavy, special buttons and your assist buttons. This game does an interesting thing where your special moves aren't used with motions. You have a special button. You can do a neutral special, back special, and forward special, kind of like Super Smash Brothers. When you get deeper into the game, you find out which moves hit OTG off the ground, and even though the tutorial does tell you about your assists, they don't tell you how the assists change properties on hit when you switch into them, so it leaves a lot to explore. I haven't seen any super long combos. Most of them are just loops. They're really short and damaging combos. You would think SNK made this game, or at least Magna Defender. Now getting into the online, man, this game, for what it is, has an amazing online experience. Mind you, I'm on a college campus. While I do use a LAN, I can sometimes barely get games, and that's for any fighting game. I have to wait a long time for games, but when I do in this game, the quality is excellent. There's rarely any lag. I really haven't experienced anything like it so far. However, there is a whole bug to where sometimes you cannot block online. You can't block low online, and that is the game's biggest downfall from a gameplay perspective. That's their biggest downfall so far. There are many games which I've won, and many games that I've lost just because of that one exploit, and it's something they've got to fix very soon. Game has been out for a week and there hasn't been a patch for it yet. Online so far is great, but that one bug there is going to kill it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give this game a 7. I want to rank it higher, but there's too many bugs right now and some gameplay mechanics that may have been overlooked. And there's a lack of character to the characters, but that's due to the audio issues, which can always be addressed in a patch. They're definitely stepping in the right direction though. I can see the player base growing after some time, and it's a really fun game to play overall.